Good morning, Miss. I'm Lee Chen Yong. Today, I'm going to discuss about the topic of derivation employment income in Malaysia. According to PwC Malaysia, a person's gross employment income should be taxed in the following circumstances and taxed under corresponding section. First of all, when an employee is performing his or her duties in Malaysia, his or her employment income should be taxed in Malaysia and under Section 13(2)(a). This situation will not bother about the source of the employer as long as the employees are performing duties in Malaysia. For example, Mr. Ali is a part-time lecturer from Indonesia and he is working in Taylor University, Malaysia. In this situation, his income should be taxed in Malaysia and under this section instead of taxed in Indonesia. Besides that, the leave that paid due to exercise and employment in Malaysia should also be taxed under Section 13(2)(b). The place that leave is spent are irrelevant for us to consider where the leave pay should be taxed. For instance, Mr. Ali has an annual leave due to his job in Malaysia. The salary paid during the leave should be taxed in Malaysia, although Mr. Ali has spent this annual leave with his family in Indonesia. Apart from that, the income that earned in overseas as working duties in there which are incidental to the exercise of an employment in Malaysia should also be taxed under Section 13(2)(c). For instance, Mr. Ali is dispatched overseas to monitor a new project and report back the progress to the Malaysian resident companies. The employment income that earned in this mission should be taxed in Malaysia and under this section. Besides that, under Section 13(2)(d), the income of a director of a company resident in Malaysia should also be taxed in Malaysia, although the director are not working in Malaysia at all. For instance, Mr. Yang is living in Singapore and he is working at there, but he is a director of a company resident in Malaysia. His employment income will be taxed in Malaysia and under this section in this situation. Under Section 13(2)(e), employees of a sea or air resident companies are taxable. However, the tax exemption is allowed for the employees of sea-going vessels that are operated by Malaysian resident companies. Lastly, under Section 13(3), employees of a public service of Malaysia are taxable, although they are not working in Malaysia at all. There is a 60-day rule which is provided for the non-resident that their employment period in Malaysia are not exceeding 60 cumulative days in a year. For example, Mr. Lee is a non-resident for Malaysia and he is working in Malaysia about 59 cumulative days in a year. In this situation, he is not required to pay tax for Malaysia government.